Hello there. Welcome to this. I'll try not to pound the table anymore. We're not having an earthquake here in Ohio. Welcome. This is Listen Up, first recording, first edition for 2021. My name is Mark Banfield. This is the Banfaith Systems. And again, this is Listen Up. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about different things that impact you as far as a sales professional, as far as a business professional. How can you improve? How can you get better in doing what you do? Today, we're going to talk about goals and what it takes to set proper goals. I am not alone. I do have a team of experts that have been around for a lot of years, friends of mine that are going to help me cover this. And instead of me introducing them, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. I'm going to start with in order. On my screen below me, the first one I'll let him introduce himself is Mr. Mike Mersman. Mike, give us an introduction.
Hey, good morning, everybody, or afternoon, whatever it is. I'm Mike Mersman. I've been in sales for all of my life. And for the last umpteen years, I have been the guy that helped people get to where they wanted to be business-wise, as a business coach, as a personal coach. And I love this business. It's really fun, and it's really fun to be productive. So glad to see y'all. Glad to be here.
All right. Joining Mike and myself will be Mr. Mark Shinenberry from Detroit, Michigan, as you can see in the background.
Glad to be here, Mark. I'm Mark Shinenberry. I've been in sales and business development training for a little over 30 years, and really enjoy helping sales professionals take their business to the next level. Thanks for asking me to join, Mark.
Okay. Also from the great state of Michigan will be Mr. Alex Thayer.
Hello, I'm Alex Thayer, Michigan Dealer Service. I'm looking forward to this episode of Listen Up and getting in and figuring some stuff out. Appreciate it.
Last but not least, from the sunny state of Florida, and I think it's a bit warmer down there than it is up here in the Midwest where the rest of us are. Actually, Mike is down in Florida also. But we have the master motivator. We have Ron Catronio.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Ron Catronio here. I'm excited to get started now in 2021. Have a lot of good information to share. We hope that you'll enjoy it, and hopefully you'll come back and share this with your friends. Make it a great day. Go out and be a winner.
All right, so here's the whole team. I'll put the whole team on the screen. So again, as Ron just said, please share this. If you enjoy what you're watching, subscribe to this channel, this YouTube channel. So there's a subscribe button there. There's going to be a subscribe button below. Let's see, down here below my finger, there's a subscribe button there. Below the actual video, there's a subscribe button. There is a little bell that you can click to give you notifications when we post new videos, so you'll know when we actually have new videos posted. Share this with your friends. We do this weekly, at least, if not more often. But today we're going to be talking about goals. So it's that time of year, earlier, about a month ago, everyone was setting resolutions. Resolutions are nothing but personal goals. So guys, the question I want to pose to you is, what do you do? What does it mean to set a goal? If I'm going to be setting a goal, let me make myself big here. I'm going to set a goal. What do we have to do? So what is the process of goal setting? Who wants to start first?
I'll start. Well, goal setting is a process by which you predict the future. And and I'll give you an example. Let's say that you knew where you wanted to go, but you didn't know where you were starting. That's going to be a confusing mission. But if you know where you want to end up, what is your goal? What is your forecast? You can now put a script or a roadmap together that will get you there. Things are not just going to happen by happenstance. They're going to happen on purpose. So what you've got to be is involved in your career, know how good you are, and with your tools and resources, where do you want to be? And you script out the roadmap to get there.
Exactly. And I like the idea that it is a roadmap. And the cool thing about it is that you can pick the stops, the sights, the scenery, and the end result. It's really, really easy to do if you think about it. But one of the things that you do when you're setting goals is most of the time you're entering into areas that you're not used to. So it's okay to ask somebody else who maybe has been down that path before. It makes it really easy and you can process, set your stages, and reach those goals as long as they're attainable and you stick with the program.
Key
So-
word there, Mike, obtainable. They have to be worthwhile, specific, and obtainable.
Absolutely.
So, as a sales professional, what kind of goals should I be setting? I'm asking this to the whole group. Should I be setting a goal? I want to make $100,000 this year, or I want to sell 1,000 cars. What goal should I set? How should I look at this?
Well,
They have to be worthwhile, specific, and obtainable. But if you want to earn a certain amount of money, sell a certain number of cars, you need to establish that number that is reasonable and you can achieve it. And if you find that you're getting there quicker than you thought, change the goal, increase the number, increase the dollars. Years ago, I used to put index cards on my bathroom mirror, and I'd put it in present sense, and I'd say, I make $50,000 a year. Now I made that statement. Now how do I back it up?
So Ron, playing off of that, again, in a follow-up session, I want to get into the real specifics and nuts and bolts about how we actually set a goal. But I do want to play off of what Ron just said. You've got to make it reasonable. So let's say I set a goal this year of I want to gross $250,000. Last year I grossed $75,000.
Not realistic.
My goal this year, I want to gross $250,000.
Not realistic.
Okay. So I don't think it's realistic either, Ron. But if I truly want to set that as a goal, what do I have to do to make it within the realm of reason?
arithmetic.
What do you mean, Mike?
Well, what did it take you to do what you did based on the numbers? Okay, then turn that around. Okay, to forecast that, you're gonna push those numbers forward. The problem that a lot of people run into, especially if somebody, like it was just said, it's unattainable. Well, sometimes to do what you want to do, there's not enough hours in your lifetime to get it done. There are physical things that you have to account for. And one of the big things is time. Is it going to take more time, or is it going to take more effort? Or do you just have to know more about what you're doing? And all those things have a bearing on your end result. But you got to do the arithmetic, because you can't put, 10 pounds of manure in a 5-pound hat.
Okay,
Overlook the obvious.
you've heard the analogy, how do you eat an elephant? A bite at a time.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to break down that goal and break down that goal into segments.
Exactly.
You've got 12 months to achieve it, 365 days. So like Mike said, do the math. Divide that goal out by the month, the week, the day, and each day that's your forecast for that day. And you got to put the resources and tools together to get to that forecast. If you find you're overachieving or you're doing better, change the goal.
Absolutely.
But you've got to be realistic, worthwhile, and specific, and you got to charge at it like a bull.
Well,
All right,
and that's
Alex,
a good point.
I want to go to you, Alex. Alex, you've been awful quiet here so far. So let's say you're a manager and I'm a salesperson, and I come to you, and we're at a dealership that sells X number of cars, and as a salesperson, I'm selling an average number of cars, and we know the average salesperson in America sells 8 to 10 cars a month, right?
Yep.
And I set a goal that I'm going to now sell this year 20 cars. okay, a month. That's my goal. As a manager, how do you handle that?
Great, go get them. As a manager, if somebody wants to bump up their sales and they're proactively trying to do it, then how can I help you do that? From a manager's perspective, different ways of supporting them and making sure the salesperson's doing the follow-up contacts that they're supposed to do. And the biggest thing is making them identify what specifically is going to change to help you increase your sales. It's like Ron said earlier, it's not magically going to happen. Something actually needs to change in what you do and how you do it and how you say it in order to have a significant impact on your sales.
Absolutely.
You as a manager, Mike, you as a manager, Alex, you're a resource for that salesperson. Yeah. So what you're doing is you're telling him, I am available to you to guide, to help, to assist you achieve that goal. Now, what role do you want me to play?
So then is it safe to say that goal set, okay, let me rephrase the question. Whose responsibility is it to achieve a goal that is set?
The individual.
The goal.
Okay, the individual.
Yes.
So if I set a goal, is it my responsibility to determine that it is a realistic goal?
Ultimately, yes.
Yeah.
How do I determine if it's realistic?
Well, I think I know where you're going with this. You probably need. So let's just make an assumption here that we're talking to a salesperson. A salesperson is listening right now that is either brand new in the business or new to goal setting, right? Because you may have been in the business for many years and never set a goal. You may have just been flying by the seat of your pants, taking the ups that come in and selling as many cars as you can based on that. But you want to really take it to the next level. You want to set a goal and achieve that goal. You need to use the resources that are available to you. And the number one resource is your management team.
Yes. And
I agree with that. I agree with that, Mark.
To go back to one of Ron's input, Mark Banfield was talking about he was at 175,000 and he wanted to go to 250. There is one thing about that, and that is, was Mark underachieving to begin with? Was his 175 well below what he should have been doing, and then could he get to the 250? There's that possibility, and you don't want to overlook that.
Okay. What other resources do you have besides your management? So to achieve a goal, what do you need to recognize or to do to reach your goal? And, so I set a goal. So if my goal is, I'm going to sell X number of widgets. My goal is to run a marathon. My goal is to climb Mount Everest. So what do I need to do to achieve my goal, whatever it is?
Well, forget about Mount Everest. You just want to climb this sales goal, right? So I'm in a Toyota dealer, a Chevy dealer, a Honda dealer, a Mercedes-Benz dealer, whatever the case may be, somewhere in this country. And I promise you that you have the average salespeople selling 8 to 10 cars a month over here. And then across the showroom, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 salespeople selling 25, 30 cars a month. And you may have one salesperson selling 100 cars a month. You want to reach out to your peers, those salespeople that are selling 25, 30 or selling 100 or selling 75. You want to reach out to those overachievers, those people that are not the average. They're actually setting goals, achieving those goals, and knocking the ball out of the park. You want to work with them. You want to feed off of them, get their advice, talk
Absolutely.
to them.
Yeah. You watch those people and they're in early, they're on the phone all day if they're not talking to somebody else on the floor. And those are the people that are doing those numbers. And you do watch them, listen to them, and do what they do that works for you. It's not a hard thing to do. You just got to kind of figure it out a little bit. Watch and learn, listen and learn, and do
Well,
and learn.
you got to get started. And I know I break things always down into percentages. And I look at, Mark talked about the various types of people within the dealership. I say there are 80 percenters, 16 percenters, and 4 percenters. 80% do the rank and file. Those are your 8 to 10 cars a month guys. 16% will overachieve there and do a better job on a more consistent basis. Then there's 4%. 4% are the superstars. These are the guys that are doing things the average 80%er won't do. And that's what Mike was just saying. Get on the phone, get resources out, use your email, use technology to help you achieve your goal. There's so much technology around us today, and if we're not using it, we're just dumbasses.
Well, and if you're not using it, somebody else is. Absolutely.
Exactly.
So, all right. So, you guys, these are all great points. I agree with this. So, let me reframe the question then. If what you said is all very true, and I agree with all of it, what are the roadblocks, or what is the problem then that's holding back all of those 80% of those people that are just doing the average 10 cars a month? What's holding them back?
The internal belief that they can't do it.
Yeah. Do we have that?
I was just going to say,
Okay, Alex.
how often do you see a salesperson that's brand new to the selling cars, and they step in and they're leading the board at the end of the month? They're the top salesperson or close to it, and they'll do that for a few months. What's the difference between that and somebody who's been doing it forever but can't get over 12 units? It's the new guy doesn't have any mental blocks. He's listening to the manager, doing exactly what they say, learning.
Alex,
and that's the biggest roadblock.
I want you to follow that up. That new person that comes in and leads the leaderboard for a handful of months, what happens to them 6 to 9 months later?
Yeah, the sophomore slump, right?
Oh, the polish came off the apple.
Yeah.
So why did they drop off the leaderboard then?
They got educated.
They lost their edge. They lost their enthusiasm. Think about the word enthusiasm. I am sold myself. The last 4 letters of the word. You've got to stay engaged. You got to realize if I don't do this, I am not going to achieve my success. I have to do this. And an example for me would be what I just went through. I know what I have to do to be successful. And I can choose not to do it and blow things up. And all I'm going to do is go back to where I was, and I'm not going to feel good about it. So, with achievement comes your self-image. It comes your feeling of being a star and being someone that's committed to success and being someone that wants to be admired. And that's what I want to be. I want people to like me, to enjoy what I do, to trust me, which is a big factor in the automobile business, and to recommend me. So I got to be likable, knowledgeable, and enthusiastic.
Absolutely.
And if you think back on the new salesperson, your goal as a salesperson is to have a volume of quality contacts with customers. A new salesperson, if they've been selling for a week, they've only got 5 or 10 customers they need to contact. And so they're probably calling those customers 7 times a day, right? Trying to keep active. When you have a couple hundred people in your database, which you should have if you've been selling for a couple hundred years, it's much stronger. It's much more difficult to contact and maintain contact with your active customers. And it requires much more, diligence and scheduling on your part as a salesperson.
Mark, you said something I do not want to blow over or bypass when I asked the question, what happened 9 months later? And you said they got educated. What do you mean?
They got educated by their peers. Those other salespeople that have mental blocks, as we were just discussing, that are not the overachievers. They got into their head. They started listening to them, and they stopped listening to the manager. And we've all seen it happen hundreds, if not thousands of times.
Right.
And often we lose good people from the industry because they get to that point and they hit that mental roadblock, which creates a physical roadblock, and they never go any further. And a lot of times they end up leaving the industry.
In other words, they get told why they can't do it.
Absolutely. And
Even though they were just doing it, they get told why.
Yep.
Ron used the example of he knows what he needs to do, and yet I know a lot of people that have gone through, what Ron's gone through, and status quo, old habits are hard to beat, and they revert back. It's a hard thing to do, and status quo and culture and change is hard. And it's something that people have to fight to overcome. Some people just don't have the energy to continually do it. They don't have it in their nature, I don't think.
You'll find that the people that are listening to the cynics become them. Okay, you don't want to do that. Listen to the successful people. Listen to the people that are where you want to be, not the people that are where you don't want to be. And the cynicism that's in this business, the old timers have got along, if they're in the 30 plus a month club, that's great. But the guys that are still doing a dozen or 15, even that's not good enough. And you just don't want to be there. It's not worth it.
You guys all heard of the that secret society on the dealership floor called the Circle Jerk Society?
That's right. That's right.
Well, I mean, back to what Ron said, there's a strong desire in people, in humans, to belong to a community, to belong to a group. And as Ron said, 80% of the group are the average, right? The 10 units a month. So the desire is to belong to the community. That's the desire. That's who you want to belong to. But then we have a desire to achieve. And the ones that really want to achieve have that desire and drive to excel. And so there's this competing desire. What desire wins is going to decide where that salesperson is going to go, which end of the spectrum they're going to go to. And they have to fight that. Now, going back to goal setting, getting back on topic with goal setting, one of the things that we have to know, when you set a goal, whatever it is, so I'm going to go from 10 cars a month to 20. I'm going to double my income from 100 grand to 200 grand. Part of the process is you have to recognize what you don't know, because you have to learn. So to make 100 grand, I know this realm of information. If I'm going to make 200 grand, I now need to know this realm of information. What do I need to learn in this bigger realm of information? The question I want to pose to the group right now is, where do I find what I need to learn that I don't know currently?
I would go to the
Your
4%.
CRM system.
What was that, Alex?
All the numbers are in your customer management system. Manage yourself by the numbers. Are you able to get your phone ups in when you have them have a sales call? Are the appointments not showing up? You're making a ton of appointments, but they're not showing up. Do you have customers coming in, but you're not able to close your percentage? So I think that's a big thing that is missed is using your CRM, your customer management system.
So you're saying follow the process the dealership has in place?
They're there for a reason, and they're there to help.
Why is it that people think they have a better process all the time?
Don't try to reinvent anything. Follow what already works and what's existing that's successful. I don't need to reinvent the process. I just need to follow the process to the letter.
Yeah, it's there. Get used to it. It takes practice.
Okay.
Let me ask you guys a question. I'm a brand new salesperson. Been in the business 6 months. It's 2021. We're getting ready to go into the spring selling market. I really need to make $75,000 this year because I want to buy a new house. What do I do? How do I set that goal? I just pulled that out of the air, right? The 75,000. How do I back into that? What do I need to do? What's my next step? Now that I know that's what I want to make, I know how much my commissions are or my percentages or my bonuses. What do I need to do next? Where do I go for help? What do I do?
Break it down into stages. First of all, you need to make $6,200 a month. From the $6,200 a month, you need to make, you break that down by the week, by the day, and you realize make the goals manageable that you can bite them off and chew on that. Don't look at 75, look at 6,200 a month. Don't look at the 6,200 a month, divide that by 4.3, look at that. Then divide that by 7 days and look at that and start to track it. But then you also got to know how good you are, which you don't know yet. Once you get a bit of a track record, let's say you sell your first 10 cars. On your first 10 cars, look at the gross that you've generated. Divide that gross out across the 10 cars. How many people did you speak to sell 10 cars? You start determining, what am I getting per every handshake? And you say, okay, now in order to achieve this, I got to shake this many hands. It's like a politician kissing babies.
Exactly.
So now you break it down into small, manageable pieces.
Can I play devil's advocate on that, Ron? What if, since I'm early in the business, I'm not doing that well on any of those numbers? Is it possible I will get discouraged doing that?
Of course, you get discouraged, but you got to realize that with discouragement comes persistence. You've got to ramp up your persistence and your attitude and get busy. Don't just sit there and feel sorry for yourself. Take a proactive approach. Yeah, maybe I'm not achieving my $206 a day. Okay, well, what is it going to take for me to do that? Ramp it up a bit. Again, small, manageable pieces. And before you know it, at the end of the month, at the end of 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, you've got your goal. It's not $75,000 is not a big goal.
Right?
So would it be safe to say that doing what Ron just said, right? We picked a goal out of the air because it was just an arbitrary number that, as a new salesperson, I determined that's what I needed to make. But would it be safe to say that if we actually did the work that Ron just laid out for us, broke it down to $6,200 a month, broke it down by the week, broke it right down to the day, and then started looking at how many hands I needed to shake, how many people I needed to talk to actually sell a car, would it be safe to say that I could come up with a realistic goal and maybe even stretch that out a little bit and realize that, like Ron said, 75 isn't that tough of a goal?
That's right. You do the math.
One more thing I do want to bring up right now before we finish this up, one topic. So when we set a goal, whether it's a number of units, whether it's a dollar amount, we come up with a number. We come up with our goal. For that goal, for us to keep pressing forward to that goal, so that, as I brought up the discouragement, and Ron said you got to keep going at it, we have to recognize what is driving us to that goal. We need to identify why we are making that goal. Am I correct in that? Why do I want to grow my income from 75 grand to 150? Why do I want to move my units from 10 a month to 15 a month? What is the reason why?
Well, there's got to be something motivating you. Now, if you know that you're driving towards a new home or a new car or a new suit of clothes, put that in front of you. You got to make your goal visible. It's got to have some substance.
That's right.
Okay. If it's and even more so than that, why do you want a new home?
Because I'm living in a 1-bedroom apartment and I feel I need more room, and I'm going to have a family. I'm going to get a wife and I'm going to make babies.
Yeah, and that to me is the more important part. The wife, the babies, the family, the
Right.
future, the children, the emotional drive, I think, is the important part of the why of the goal. It's not just so I can have a new car, it's why do you want the new car? It's
Exactly.
that
The carrot.
underlying drive that will continue to push you and make you go forward. If you just say I want a new car, I don't think that's going to be strong enough to drive you to push you to that higher goal. I think you will learn to justify the car that you have.
I'm driving an 86 Hyundai Excel. It's a 4-door. It's got 155,000 miles on it. There's no AC and it needs tires, and I owe money on it. The goal is to get rid of this pile of crap, get something I can depend on every day, and make me feel good driving to work. Going, look at me. You know, that's okay. You can boast about yourself. Get in the habit of giving yourself some pats on the back.
Celebrate.
You bet your ass.
It's all part of it.
All right, guys. Great discussion today on goals. So here we are. We're at the soapbox moment. Every time we finish this up, we do a soapbox moment. I'm going to give each of you a chance to have a few seconds, a little bit of time to talk about whatever you want. We're going to start. I'm just going to go around the screen. Ron, you're in the top corner. I'm going to give you your soapbox moment first.
Okay, let me get on top of that box right now. Bottom line, guys, you've got to have something that's driving you towards your success. You have to have that goal. You have to have that vision. Create a vision board. Put something where you can visually see it, feel it, touch it, experience it, live it. If it's a new car, go do test drives. If it's a new house, go look at model homes. Take the activity that's going to bring about the realization.
All right, Ron. Now we're going to go to Mark Shinneberry.
Whatever your goal, set it. Look at it. Like Ron just said, visualize where you need to be. Set that goal. Make sure that it's realistic. And then go after it. If you need any help setting these goals or you have questions about how to get there, how to achieve your goals, feel free to reach out to any one of us. Your number one source for this should be your management team. That being said, we are available. Reach out to us. We'd be happy to help.
All right. And Mark, I assume your goal is to get back across the river from Canada to Detroit?
No, I'm going to put a boat between me and here, a nice yacht.
Okay, very nice. Very nice. All right, Alex, you're up next.
Take the time to set your annual forecast and your monthly forecast. It makes such a big difference in the sales industry, no matter what you sell, but especially cars. And it provides a necessary roadmap. By all means, give any of us a call with any questions to help get you started.
All right, Mike.
Mark, I'm going to speak for you just a second here. Remember back when you and I were working for Mercedes and we were doing those management training issues? We always told those people one thing: if you're not really sensing how this goal setting thing's going to work for you, turn around in your head, swivel your head back around and pretend that you are on a path and look where you've been as a person, as a career. You started someplace, you're here now. So look at that vision and look at like, all I need is a machete and I can cut myself through these weeds and I'm going to get this done. So moving forward is not, for some people, it's kind of a blind thing. They've never done it before. But if you are able to kind of turn your mind around and go look back to where you've been, you'll see a path, and that path gets longer, stronger, and brighter. Okay, just a little Q-tip for you.
Very nice, Mike. Very nice. All right, I'm going to wrap up. My soapbox moment is, again, back to the why. Understand why you want your goal. It's one thing to set a goal and to go through that process, but if you don't understand why you want it, what's driving you, the goal is going to lose its fire. It's going to lose its energy. So understand what's driving you. What's the need behind it? What's pushing you? And with that, we're going to leave you today. Thank you for joining us. Again, subscribe in this corner down here. Subscribe to the channel. Come back and join us. We have lots of videos. And if you need anything, reach out to us. Fan Faith Systems. We'll be happy to help you out with goal setting, with development of your team. And with that, thank you very much. Have a great season, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
See you.
Go, Buccaneers.
Bye.